What's up, guys? Here with you with FC Wonderkid, episode 87. Here with my guy, Fredson. How are you?
I'm doing great. We are into 2023. We have got some action brewing. The Premier League is back. Ligue 1 is back. Serie A is back. Next week, the Bundesliga will be back, and everything will be right in the world. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're not here to talk about the future. We're here to talk about the
Past. And
Yes.
straight off the bat, please, people, comment down below who should be in your best 11 players, or just type your best 11. The best comments will get definitely our response, people. So please go bold down in the comment section. And don't forget to like this video for more videos talking about the past, like Breton said. But yes, I said best 11. That's the topic. But to warm up, let's do a best under 23 11 of 2022. Because this year, World Cup, so many bold occasions happened too. I want to know, man. Rodrigo, I have so many doubts of this best Wonderkids 11. Who's going to be in yours? But let's get to it, Breton.
It's so tough. It is so tough. And I think you have to almost start off by saying, a World Cup, 1 month of fixtures.
Yes.
It being highly weighted makes a whole lot of sense because it only comes once every 4 years. But at the same time, there's an inconsistency to it that it's so hard because the other 11 months of the year, what are they doing? They're playing club. So I am going to definitely make some missteps here. I'm definitely going to get deadpanned in the comments, and I'm okay for that. These are just opinions, people. They're not fact. You're confident? That's good.
This is the best 11 of Wonderkids in 2022.
All right.
Spitting off from my mouth, I'll tell you that. I'm very confident on that. And Wonderkids, put down below in the comments. I want to see your confidence too down there. So, are you as confident as I for the goalkeeper, the best goalkeeper of 2022? Being Diogo Costa. He is the starter for Portugal for a reason. Ball distribution elite and penalty saving in the Champions League elite too. So best goalkeeper. Do you agree?
I would definitely have to agree on this one. I think yes. When you go club and you go Champions League, you go Primera Liga, you go World Cup. Diogo Costa fits the bill. I think he obviously wanted to have a better World Cup than he had. But at the same time, this is where not having the World Cup. If there was no World Cup, who would be on it? Probably still Diogo Costa, right?
I agree.
Ahead of, obviously, who we know is likely the most talented goalkeeper on this list. Is Donnarumma 24 yet?
Yeah. I think Donnarumma.
I don't know.
No, I think he doesn't count. Donnarumma doesn't count.
Exactly. That guy's been 18 for 10 years. But Meslier, Albin Lafont for Nantes. Albin Lafont for Nantes.
If I were Tottenham, I'd get Lafont. When Lloris retires, Lafont would be my option. Meslier, I know at Leeds, great French too, but Lafont. He can be a bigger bargain too, and he's a leader. He's a leader for Nantes. So just wanted to say that.
Well, the only other name I throw on this goalkeeper shortlist, since we both agree that it's Diogo Costa, Wonderkid or U23 goalkeeper of the year. I am gonna just throw out a name to watch for 2023, and that's Mamarashvili from the Georgian goalkeeper from Valencia.
Yes.
I like him. I like what I've seen so far. And I think that's going to continue into the year. And if he even gets the slightest bit of, Kavica Kvaratskhelia fortune at Napoli, and he spreads it to his Georgian counterparts, Mamarashvili should have a phenomenal 2023. And he was actually starting to last year. But it's between Diogo Costa and between Donnarumma. I'm going to say Diogo Costa.
I know, but Donnarumma, better keeper right now. We both agree that. But I think Donnarumma is but put down below. I want to know. I want to see if it's between the two. I think Donnarumma is 24 though. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure.
I think he might still be, but I don't know anymore. For all I care, he's 30 years old. We're talking about new guys, right?
It's
not
true,
Donnarumma.
true.
So Diogo Costa.
That's true. That's actually something very underrated. Like Donnarumma, he played very early at AC Milan. He had like
Yeah.
200 appearances at such a young age too. So he should have stayed, man, to win that Scudetto. Con Rafael, Theo, so much
But
talent.
but
Oh,
like really quickly, let's talk about that future because it's
but
up to Donnarumma. It's
mhm.
up to Donnarumma to swallow his pride, and it's up to Donnarumma to lead the Azzurri into the new promised land because they need to make a massive comeback and
True.
one that actually sticks for the future.
Barella too.
So and
Tonali.
Varela, Tonali. I mean, there's so much good there to talk about
Mm-hmm.
the
No,
Azzurri.
pressure. They
But
need pressure,
yeah.
man. Jeez, Barella, 25. I think he's right
Yeah.
now. So, but yeah, I love we're along with the keeper now. But let's
Yeah.
go defenders. So I'm gonna say so. Diogo Costa is my keeper, and my
Yeah.
left back. I'm gonna give a shout out to Udogi, Destiny Udogi. Please remember this player from Udinese. 11 goal involvements in 2022, and he's gone to Tottenham for a reason because Conte knows ball. And Udogi might have been the best thing that happened to Tottenham in 2022. Just wanted to say that too. But my left back is Nunes because yes, Udogi had 11 goals and assists, like I said, but Nunes offers more than just goals. Defensively, I think it's no doubt in my mind he's already in the talk of best left back defending in the world. And yeah, I just put him there. I just have to.
Im-
I love him.
improved dramatically too.
Exactly.
In 2022, he has
Exactly.
improved dramatically in his defending. So
Exactly.
I'm with you there, but I am going to throw you a curveball here, and I'm going to listen to your whole defense first because I'm throwing tactical craziness into the loop here, and I'm going to go a 3-4-3 with three center backs. Okay, so your left back and your two center backs, what are they?
So my left back and my two center backs. So I have Diogo Costa at goalkeeper. Left back
Yep.
Nunes and my two center
Mhm.
back pairing. I had to go Saliba. Conquered Liga for me, the best center back last season, and now this
Yep.
season in the Prem. And my other center back is Joshko Gvardiol because Gvardiol in this World Cup, that Messi moment was Messi going bold, but Gvardiol was consistent throughout the World Cup for Croatia, and just like Luka Modric and Livakovic, two very important players, Gvardiol was crucial too for
Yeah.
Croatia. Third place too. 20 Gvardiol. So yeah, Diogo Costa, Nunes, Gvardiol, Saliba. So I'm cooking right here, Breton.
Yeah, you are, and also a lot of people might forget Gavardiol has played a role in RB Leipzig's first trophy,
True.
right? In their first trophy, they have started this season. They're digging out of a hole. They're getting back up to the front of the Bundesliga, but they did get something done last season, and Gavardiol was a big reason for that. But I am very curious, who's your right back?
My right back. Okay. I'm going to say my whole defense, man. But
Yeah,
people,
do
are
it.
you agreeing with me? Put it down below in the comments, okay? I want to see people saying if they agree, if it's facts or not. But the best defense, in my opinion, under 23 of 2022 was Diogo Costa in goalkeeper, left back Nunes, Saliba with Joshko Gvardiol, so bold in the World Cup, and right back. There's a reason why Real Madrid wants this man, Galactico Reece James, okay? He went bold for Chelsea this season, and Reece James showed that he's better than Trent in 2022. I have to say that. So that's my defense.
Yeah, well, that's a good defense, and it's just the only thing to end 2022 to head into 2023. It's tough to see Reece James have similar fortune to what Gio Reyna experienced in 2022, which is he comes back, he fights all the way back from injury, and he gets injured once again to start 2023. So hopefully it's not too long. He's back on the pitch, and I think a big move, you're right, is in Reece James's future. But listen, I agree with a lot of that, but I just felt that center backs, there was so much more from an under 23 perspective to fit in the center backs. No. I went without fullbacks, and I went with three center backs as my defense.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're looking at here, and I agree with you, and which is why I let you go first here, because I agree with 2/3 of what you got there. I only added one more center back, and that is I do have William Saliba, the best defender in Ligue 1 in the beginning of the year. He transitions. Everybody was worried if there'd be some transition issues to Arsenal. Nope. Absolutely lights out. He only had one minor hiccup to end the year. You don't really agree with it, but I do. He had a little bit of a World Cup hangover where he didn't play that much, and he hasn't been what he was previously to going World Cup. Exactly, but Arsenal still won in spite of it, and I don't think that that is some sort of red flag for 2023. The world is William Saliba's oyster in 2023. Okay, so William Saliba is my center back. The next center back, obviously, we already talked about him, is Josko Gvardiol. But then I had a really, really tough go of it to figure out what center back I wanted to be. I wanted the third one to be, because there's a list here. There's one that's more front half of 2022, like Pierre Kalulu, you want to say. There's Ronaldo Araujo. There's Antonio Silva you could talk about.
Exactly.
There's Sven Botman and Alessandro Bastoni. But no, my center back to pair with Gvardiol and Saliba is Jurrien Timber for 2022.
Solid. Best under 23, I'd say solid option. But I say Antonio Silva still. Antonio Silva in the Champions League. He went bold against Juve and PSG. And there's a reason why Portugal called him up. And it was hard for me not to put him.
but Jurrien Timber.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Netherlands had a pretty fair showing, pretty decent showing at the World Cup. They have a massive future, and Jurrien Timber showed that it was him. And believe it or not, like, we didn't really mention De Ligt. We didn't mention some of the others that are but I do want to give a big shout out to Pierre Kalulu because the first half of 2022, one of the largest reasons why Milan went on to win the Scudetto was because of Tomori and Pierre Kalulu. Kalulu's rise in the early days of 2022 was absolutely one of the biggest reasons, and some other guy we're going to talk about later, his rise too. Exactly. So I just wanted to make sure I shouted him out because, sometimes recency bias kind of snake bites us. But we're going to talk about maybe in the actual team of the year, not, all ages, how there's kind of this dearth of not much consistency when it comes to center backs all across the board, or like elite showings of center backs. All I got to say is that the future is bright for young center backs. That is for damn sure.
True.
The future is bright for young center backs because Sven Botman, it's only one half of the year right now. Yep. He is part of the best defense in the Premier League. The best defense. So, if we're going on halves, he's going to wind up being one of the biggest bargains of 2022 or 2021, whenever they signed him.
Saliba when Arsenal got him for only 30. But Netherlands is mad. You say Timber, you said Botman, you said De Ligt. How many Dutch center backs, and I'm sure they're cooking more in their academies, man, coming up, Dutch center backs, and it's unbelievable, man. Academies in the Netherlands. Oh, so our defenses are sorted. Like the video if you agree with the defenses. Let's see. Let's see. But there's a tough choice. Midfield. Midfield is so tough, man, because it's when you have to face realities.
That is true.
So I'm just going to say my midfield, but I'm still going to share my big doubts. But an award is my difference. So I'm going to say my best under 23 midfield of 2022 has Enzo Fernandez, Jude Bellingham, and Jamal Musiala. I have no Pedri, no Gavi, and the biggest that hurt me to not put was Tchouaméni. But the best youngster award of the World Cup was my factor to put Enzo Fernandez and Champions League form too. But Tchouaméni, in my opinion, is going to be the best CDM in the next 10 years in football. I want to say that in the video, though. But I just want to say, in the sake of the World Cup too, I know he went bold, but Enzo. Enzo.
Yeah. I
hard.
mean, this is now you understand why I changed my tactics.
I
I
just said
thought
it.
it was I thought it was much more important to have four in the midfield than four on the back line with
I had
this
to.
midfield, because this collection of talent, bar none, is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know, and we'd have to maybe go back and look at past years. I don't know if there's ever been a deeper pool of U23 midfield talent. I mean, you could even go
I
lower
agree.
with this, because the
Xavi
majority of
Simons.
these guys, the majority of these guys are like much younger than 23, and they're going to be part of this. They're going to be like the Donnarummas of the future
Fuck.
with this, because they're still going to be under 23 3-4 years from now. So my midfield is very, very similar, except I had to start at DM Chouameni. I know he wasn't necessarily on the pitch when Real Madrid won the Champions League, because he wasn't.
That was my
But what he
favorite.
did for Monaco, what he did for Monaco to then earn that big move, what he then did early this season to step into that 11, and what he then did when N'Golo Kante and Pogba could not go for France. He stepped up dramatically and went to a World Cup final. Chouameni has got to be my DM. I then have two midfielders right in front of him, and I am going to go with Enzo there. I am then going to go with Jude Bellingham, and then my cam is Jamal Musiala. So you and I agree. Which is so bizarre. I did not,
cheated,
and I
man.
really should have. I honestly, it's okay. It's okay. You can have dual sixes.
Yeah, you do. It's true. It's true.
And Enzo doesn't always play as a six. He doesn't always play.
He plays double pivot with Florentine.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
he plays double pivot. But
It's stacked. It's stacked. But like, listen to the list of midfielders that were not even part of this.
No, but
okay.
If we can name those, just
all right.
best,
Name them first.
The best under 23 midfielders we can name here. We're gonna name Jude Bellingham, Jamal Musiala, Pedri, Gavi, Xavi Simons, Chouameni, Enzo Fernandez. Now help me out.
Boubacar Kamara, injured but phenomenal prospect still. Declan Rice, we didn't even talk about. Did you mention Kamavinga?
Mention.
Tonali, McAllister, Moises Caicedo. Okay. I don't know where you put Mason Mount on this if you want him in there. I don't know where you line Phil Foden up, probably on the wing, but you can also play in the midfield.
True.
But my goodness, the midfield talent is
and Jamal Musiala in all these midfields we named, Jamal Musiala is the midfielder. Jamal Musiala is the under 21 midfielder with most goal involvements, with 18 goals. And it's absolutely crazy. The importance that he has, it's not for a small team or a mid-team in the Bundesliga. It's for the one team that always wins, that is Bayern Munich. So Jamal Musiala's future. He won a Champions League. People forget that. So, and playing against the Neymar. So I just, wanted to give a shout out to that. And saying that Jude Bellingham, Musiala is more offensive. Jude Bellingham, he does it all. He's complete. And he has 9 goal involvements on that list too. So I found that very interesting. And Real Madrid, I like that too, Jude. I like that decision too. But Liverpool, Liverpool would always be interesting too, because they really, really are desperate for a midfield. But most safe is Man City career choice, because Gundogan leaves and Bernard Silva leaves. And Bellingham would be the important. So just wanted to say.
Well, I mean, I just have to ask you. I get the individual talent here, but for you not to have Pedri or Gavi, I mean, we're talking consistency pretty much across the board. We're talking about the reigning golden boys, essentially, right? It just felt like there might not have been a crescendo for them this year, like a rising top, aside from winning the Golden Boy or Pedri.
I'm not going to say they haven't improved.
Definitely.
They've improved, but the rates that Jude and Musiala are going, that went in 2020,
exponential.
Yeah,
exponential.
So it made me make that choice. And by no means I'm saying that they're worse players, long-term people. Okay, this is simply 2022 in my opinion. So, and I definitely think Gavi showed his vision in many games this season. And it was interesting with Luis Enrique, Gavi goes bolder. But Xavi will get it right. I believe in this process, man, with Pedri, Gavi, and more young talent. Mukoko to Barca.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, too. Get those youngsters, Ronaldo Araújo, Mukoko, Fati, Pedri, Gavi.
Dude, if Yusufa Mukoko is turning down $3 million a year, right?
Getting 5 at Barca.
He's not going to get it at Barca.
Yes,
he's not going to get what he wants at Barca. Oh, gosh.
Yes. He will.
They are hell-bent on imploding themselves again.
But they get rid of Depay. They get rid of Depay. I prefer get rid of Depay and have Mukoko there.
Yeah, Mukoko's not as good as Depay.
But Mukoko adds potential. And
sure.
And I think Mukoko. How many goals has Mukoko in the Bundesliga this season? He's been instrumental for Dortmund. I might say I put Mukoko. I still pick Mukoko
over Depay.
But for Barca, yes, gonna say that. But for Barca with Xavi, yes.
I think Barca needs to look inside first because they have pretty much like something like 9 or 10 of their Barcelona B-boys that are pretty good that are having their contracts expiring soon. So at some point you have to look inside and trust again. The same way they did with Pedri, Gavi, and Balde. Yeah. And if they can keep Ansu Fati healthy, give him a 2023 to remember. I don't know.
Exactly.
There's a lot going on there. They've got Akumak. They've got a lot of guys behind them.
And sorry for not mentioning Balde earlier. I should have, because Balde is one of the best left backs in the future. Just like Nuno Mendes and Alfonso Davies. Udogi, I believe in him too. So
okay, you just mentioned Alfonso Davies. I was going to say I was derelict because I was so focused on saying I was going to do 3 center backs that I forgot to say Alfonso Davies is still in my opinion on par or better than Nuno Mendes.
I defensively I go Nuno Mendes. But offensively, I can understand. He is better. So I feel like both. It depends on the tactics. For the tactics with 3 center backs, I think Davis makes sense. Of course, I like that. But Nuno Mendes with 4, I go Nuno.
And I know Malacia hasn't exactly been playing a whole lot for Ten Hag yet because Luke Shaw has been out of his mind recently. I mean. Playing really well.
Livramento is my interesting shout out for people.
Okay.
Because
what about Dalot? Frimpong.
Frimpong too. And Dalot at late stages. He started to go bold. But Frimpong, I like him too. Destined for a big move, people too. Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah. You have to see. And Wirtz. We didn't mention Wirtz in all this because Wirtz got an ACL injury. But my days, man, Wirtz will definitely be in the discussion. And I believe Bayern Munich really wanted Wirtz. But he got that extension with no release clause now, which that will be a problem until 2027. That will be a problem.
Well, if there's one other person I have to name from the midfield that is nowhere close to making the team of the year, but he's very interesting because he's outside of the major leagues, is Orkun Koksu for Feyenoord. He had a phenomenal season for Feyenoord. Still is balling pretty well. It'll be nice. It'll be better when the Eredivisie comes back. But Koksu, I think, is somebody to watch in 2023 for a big move. Not saying he was best 11 material. You think Benfica
has to be interested in Orkun Koksu if Enzo Fernandez leaves? Must be.
Yes.
I'd get Alcaraz and Orkun Koksu.
And Koksu?
Okay. Yeah, both.
Okay.
They cost like what, 30 million? No, he's 30 million. No, 40. I don't care. They're gonna get like 80 million straight forwards from Enzo, like underhand, and then they have variables. That's why people say, oh, the release clause of Enzo is 120. Benfica gets 120. No, the deal might be 130, but the Benfica will get 70 or 80 straight away.
The rest goes to River. The rest goes to River.
River, man, they've cashed in with Enzo like 30 million in 5 months.
It's huge. It'll be huge for River.
And Julian Alvarez, 20 million too. That's 50 million. They're gonna go bold with signings to get that Copa Libertadores. You can just see it. You could just see it. But that's a whole other talk. I think we need to get this trio though.
The trio of forwards, because we're already kind of getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes.
But like just two more to mention: Fabio Vieira and Vitinha, who haven't they haven't quite gotten on with. Vitinha has forced his way into PSG. I like that. Fabio Vieira has yet to really get his run of games. But what they did previously to earn those moves definitely deserves a mention, because a lot of that was in 2022. And my goodness, for a while, it was an absolute joy watching them both play for Porto.
But Vitinha, So, PSG is Vitinha and Verratti. Vitinha is not good. He is just as important. I'm going to go bold, man. Vitinha in Benfica Stadium, man, he was crucial for PSG. So, okay, trio of forwards. It's very hard of best under 23. And put down below in the comments. We're gonna explain why it's hard. And my trio of forwards of best under 23 of 2022 has at the left the best. My best under 23 trio of forwards has Rafael, the best player in Serie A, okay, and destined for a big move or get that renewal. I'd love to see that at AC Milan. Striker Erling Haaland, the best, the best. He's like in the Ballon d'Or talk, man. So he has to be in the best under 23. And Vinicius Junior that scored a goal in the final of the Champions League.
Oh,
okay.
I see what you did here.
I had to say this, man. So my best under 23 trio is Rafael, best player in Serie A, Erling Haaland, best finisher in the world with Benzema, and Vinicius Junior at Real Madrid, da Galactico, and Champions League goal scorer. So
Okay. Now
I have a huge snub, man. I have a huge snub, and I'm gonna mention more about it.
Yeah, but you're also playing Vinicius on the right when he obviously normally plays on the left. No,
I know, but but yeah, that's why I then switched. But I just want to say it hurts me not to put Saka in this 11, because Saka is the under 23 with most chance created. I understand that, and for Arsenal, he's being absolutely crucial. But Rafael Leão, I'm gonna put that debate, man. Rafael Leão for me is better. Just saying. And Kvisha Kvaratskhelia. Woo! Yeah. But that was after September.
Half a year. Yeah. I mean, if you count his time with Dinamo Batumi, he also had 9 goals in 11 games or something like that. But no, you can't necessarily count that. Hey, you don't need to apologize because Breton here is going to bail you out. I am not going to have Rafa Leão in there because I believe if you were to take the left wingers, Vinicius won the Champions League. Okay, this is not to belittle Rafa Leão in any way, shape, or form. It just so happens that 2 of the most world-class U23, they both play left wing in this case. So I am going to go with Vinicius Junior at left wing. Up top, you have to go with Erling Haaland, but it is just amazing the collection of talent behind him. But right wing, I will go Mr. Consistency, Mr. Take Mikel Arteta's plan and put it out on the field, right? Mr. Compassion, Mr. Fight his I don't know. He puts his heart and soul into the game, and you can see it. It's Bukayo Saka, okay? And he also did it for England. And you have to just see that this kid doing it in the Premier League. He shows that size doesn't necessarily matter in the Premier League. Anyone that says you need to bulk up to play in the Premier League, just look at Bukayo Saka, right? And he's been phenomenal. But from a right wing perspective,
what
I know.
But was Bukayo Saka for the Ballon d'Or compared to Rafael Leão?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sticking to where they are generally play on the pitch. But Vinicius Junior, Haaland, and Saka for me. But yeah, you're right. Rafa Leão. We didn't even talk about Cody Gakpo.
Yeah, that's true. Cody Gakpo is another. It's not Anthony.
But no, it's not Anthony.
Full uptrend. But I want to say too on striker. Yes, we mentioned Mukoko fast. I think it's a very, very worthy mention. And I have here on my notes. I think he is Camavinga.
Okay.
We should the super sub of Real Madrid. And one of the reasons they won the Champions League, Camavinga. He's obviously one of the best under 23 midfielders in the world. But
Yeah.
strikers Balogun, I think here with the 9 goals in Liga, sheesh, going so bold. Okay, and come on, pick the U.S. men's national team. Want to
Yeah,
say that?
please. Please.
And
Listen to Alex.
Gonçalo Ramos, top goal scorer in the Portuguese league. You scored a hat trick in this World Cup. Gonçalo Ramos must be talked as one of the best strikers under 23. Must, and
Yeah.
he will. He will get a big move. If Darwin Nunes cost 100 million, Gonçalo Ramos won't be cheap, people. Okay,
But
so-
why, Darwin Nunes is another one. Like his first half of the season, his
but
first
he's
half
worth
of
it.
2022 was absolutely lights out. And he has still scored what? I think he's got 13 or 14 goal involvements for Liverpool, even if he has missed the broadside of the barn more often than not. This guy, once he gets fully cooking in the Premier League, we know he's going to score a lot. So Darwin Nunes, I mean, the fact that Erling Haaland has to sit at striker here because of the records that he breaks, because of just his presence as this otherworldly figure at the moment in time, it pales right now. Or that's not the right thing to say. It almost doesn't give you the best idea of what guys like Dusan Vlahovic did in 2022, guys like Darwin Nunes did to get that big move to Liverpool, Julian Alvarez and what he did from River to actually earning the trust of Pep Guardiola at Manchester City in a short period of time, and then winning the World Cup. And then even, farther down, the consistency of a guy like Jonathan David, who has scored just oodles of goals for Lille and sent Canada to their first World Cup in 30 plus years. But at the same time, like, they're not going to ever get on this type of a team as long as Erling Haaland is on it.
Exactly.
It's impossible.
He shadows Julian. He shadows Mukoko, Cody Gakpo, Gonçalo
Crazy.
Ramos, Erling Haaland, best under 23 striker, shadows so many talents, man. And that's why we're so lucky for what's to come. Wonderkids right now are going so bold because academies have never been better, man. Efficiency, quality of scouting, of development, of nutrition, of mental development, like well-being, like everything is going so bold, man, and in an uptrend. So, but people, do you agree with us? Do you agree with our best under 23 Wonderkids 11? So, I just want to say it out loud. So, my best under 23 11 has Diogo Costa, Nuno Mendes, Gvardiol, with my best under 2011, sorry people, has Diogo Costa, Nuno Mendes, Saliba, Gvardiol, Reece James, with Enzo Fernandez, Jude Bellingham, and Jamal Musiala. No Pedri or Gavi. Then, I know I go bold with wingers with the choices of right and left wing, but my wingers are Vinicius Junior and Rafael Leão, with striker Erling Haaland. For me, that's my best under 23 11, man. And it hurts me. Tremendy, man.
I know.
Those three. It hurts us.
I still can. And that backup that you have there, like of Tchouaméni, Pedri, and Gavi, not making the team. That backup could be argued to be as good as the three that you put in your best 11. That's how deep this U23 midfield is. It's insanity, man. All right. Well, I'm still just in shock that no Pedri, no Gavi in there. I expected it of myself because everyone thinks I hate Barcelona, which is not true. But yeah, when you take these guys pound for pound and what they've done and their development, it's huge. So my U23 team of the year is, we agree, goalkeeper Diogo Costa. I have three center backs. We've got Jurriën Timber, William Saliba, and Josko Gvardiol. And then in my midfield of four, we've got Tchouaméni, Enzo Fernandez, Jude Bellingham, and Jamal Musiala. And then up top, I've got Vinicius Jr., Erling Haaland, and I've got Bukayo Saka.
Interesting. I like that, man. Good 11.
And no Rodrigo. The hero of the Champions League. We didn't even mention Rodrigo.
No,
and
I mentioned at the start. I said,
okay,
I wanted to see where you'd put. And Foden.
Yeah.
Jeez, Foden
I know. Like, Foden was definitely in our last years. I think there's just been this explosion of U23s that have not only been developing exponentially, but they've been taking on the burden of doing multiple things, like a Jude Bellingham.
It's true.
They've been taking on the burden of their national teams.
It's
They've been
exactly
just growing up so quickly. Yeah,
that's my factor, and that's why I wanted to justify just ending it on my point. It's like that's why no Pedri and no Gavi in my best under 23 11. For national team, Musiala, like he was the best player of Germany. Like that's no debate in my opinion, man. Jamal Musiala, sheesh, and then Jude Bellingham for England. He was lights out. He can be considered the best midfielder for England in the World Cup. Just like Saka can be in the talk of best player too for England. So yeah, so much talent, man. So now the best 11 people.
Yeah, well,
comment before we say ours, okay? Best 11, man, because this is gonna be interesting. But okay, woo, okay.
Interesting is a loaded word, sir, because I have no clue. I have literally no clue.
Go with the flow.
Oh,
Trust.
all right.
Trust. So
all right,
best goalkeeper
go.
of best goalkeeper of 2022. No doubt in my mind, it was Courtois of Real Madrid. Why?
All right.
Because that Champions League final was the best performance I've seen of a goalkeeper in a final. Unbelievable. And yes, Rodrigo, Camavinga, Vini, Benzema, all instrumental, but Courtois was too. So I wanted to put him in the best 11. She has to be mine. And Alisson Ederson, respect that.
Yeah, I mean, and throw out the hero of the World Cup, right? Emiliano Martinez, but obviously hasn't had the greatest club season, but my goodness, was that a World Cup to remember. But Alisson, I know a lot of people are talking about Liverpool falling off, especially after that recent loss to Brentford.
Yes.
If it were not for Alisson right now, Liverpool would be conceding a whole lot more. He is putting up, as it stands at this first half of this 2022-2023 season, he's putting up Jose Sa numbers in goals prevented from last year. Okay, it's like exactly. It's like +9, +10 goals that he has kept out according to statistics. But Alisson, we know, is consistent. He was consistent for Brazil. So I think Courtois still, he is my goalkeeper. Alisson is my second, not Ederson.
No, I agree. And I just want to say, too, this World Cup had so much talented goalkeepers, man. Livakovic, Szczesny, legend Ochoa, Bono, and, of course, you mentioned Emiliano Martinez that won the award of the best goalkeeper. That is deserved for his importance, definitely in pens, man. What a moment with Holland. But
huge.
I like that. Good mentions. So I think you like my left back here.
Yes, I think we agree.
I'm not gonna say Nunminch. It hurt. No, I'm not gonna say it hurts me because the best left back in 2022 in football, no doubt in my mind, it was Rossoneri. That was Theo Hernandez. AC Milan won the Scudetto for a reason, and in the World Cup, the best left back of the World Cup too, no doubt in my mind. Okay. It was like he was crucial, absolutely crucial. That came to replace his brother, Lucas Hernandez. So I think Theo is the left back. No,
I agree. We are 2 for 2 right now, sir. We are in each other's minds, I guess. But it's not that hard to be because the season that Theo had for AC Milan, they're in it again this particular season. And then, as you mentioned, to watch your brother go down and be out literally for probably the rest of the season, not just the World Cup, and then step into his shoes and play as well as he did all the way to a World Cup final. Theo Hernandez, I think that's a slam dunk. Now we go with center backs.
Center backs, I'm going to say this, man. Right now in football, we have so many talented center backs. And in 5 years' time, all these Salibas, all these De Ligt, they will be much more matured and better at 28. But right now, yes, we have good world-class players, but it's not the same as it was before. Sergio Ramos, Piqué, Thiago Silva was so bold in his prime. There was different type. And Bonucci, Chiellini, like center backs 5 years were better. So now
you mean Thiago Silva for 10th place Chelsea? Ooh, that's brutal.
Ooh,
That is
it's
brutal.
brutal, but it's reality. The transfers they need Enzo. They need that
They-
midfield that I'm hinting of: Enzo, Declan, and Mason Mount, and Kovacic, man. For the first season when Enzo arrives, that ain't bad, man. Enzo, Kovacic, and Mount. But
Okay,
going
but
with the center
just one.
backs. Sorry.
But just one quick aside before you say your center backs. It got this far for me. It got this far for me. When it comes to slam dunks, there are none to put in this center back partnership, in my opinion. You basically said the exact same thing. Nobody like crescendoed. Nobody has held it out for the full 12 months. It got so far for me, Alex, that I almost wanted to say, Rodri played center back for Spain and actually fared very well for Spain at center back. Let me put Rodri at center back. No, I did not do that, but I'm just saying that thought entered my head because I could not pick. So I am really I know he's not. I know he's not. He's not mine either, which is why I wanted to fit him at center back.
Okay.
So I'm just really intrigued. Who's your center back partnership?
I have to put Rudiger because I think any team in the world would want Rudiger to be their center back right now.
Yeah.
In my opinion, absolutely ruthless. Real Madrid went bold with that free transfer. And I'm going to say, because of his ability, I know it might not be his best season right now or in the past, but Virgil van Dijk, I'm just going to put Virgil van Dijk.
Wow.
If he's playing at a good level, it's Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk has only one loss at Anfield in the Premier League for a reason. Absolute leader. And Cody Gakpo, aged Virgil van Dijk, bringing something good in 2022 with that too. So Rudiger, Virgil van Dijk. That's my...
Well,
yeah.
I can't necessarily disagree with that per se, but I am going to go all Real Madrid. No, I'm actually going to say David Alaba as Antonio Rudiger's center back partner. So I'm going all Real Madrid here. Obviously not the whole year, but David Alaba, we all knew it was going to happen, but he has managed to get a whole lot better as a center back than maybe not than he was in his prime at fullback. But yeah, Alaba has been very, very good, very steady for Real Madrid, who, not surprisingly, even though they are tied for first or whatever you want to call it in La Liga, they easily got out of their Champions League at this end of the season. Obviously, he left in his, not necessarily in his prime, but on the top at Bayern for the most part.
True.
I just think Alaba has been, a huge professional, but it was so close. I mean, Marquinhos deserves a shout. Fikayo Tomori absolutely deserves a shout for that Scudetto run. Thiago Silva, you already mentioned. Stones, I guess.
No.
Like, yeah. It was really, really, really difficult.
This just shows Stones.
It does.
This just shows the quality of center backs. I'm saying he's good, but not to be where's the center backs at Bayern? At Juve? The iconic center backs.
I know. Should I throw a shout out there for Harry Maguire in an England shirt? But only an England shirt?
Come on.
Just kidding.
It's
a joke.
It's
a joke.
He did play well against Bournemouth. Want to say that, okay, with that.
Yeah.
But come on, Luke Shaw.
I mean, it got to the point where maybe I thought about like Josko Gvardiol up here, right? He could be, but it's still tough.
But I think so with right back. I think the World Cup was the World Cup at right back answered my doubts of best right back in the world right now. It's Hakimi, Achraf Hakimi. For Morocco, he's an absolute legend already, going to a semi-final. First African team ever to do that. Just want to remind people how bold he went, and he's an icon. And if the Champions League, if it's not just Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, of course they're instrumental, but you got Nunes on one side and Hakimi in the other, lethal too. So at the right side of Hakimi and Mbappe, both going to New York and both going bold all the time, man, on the field.
Loved it.
So PSG already have the best right side in the world.
Seeing that video of them going through the Brooklyn Nets locker room was Akraf Hakimi looked he looked a little sheepish. He looked like nervous to see these guys, which is just awesome to see. And then you see these guys, these Brooklyn Nets coming from nowhere to shake Kylian Mbappe's hand, because man, that is it's a wonderful crossover we all like to see.
Like the Americans that just said this guy scored in a hat trick final in a final of the World Cup. Oh my days!
When they put the camera on Mbappe in that arena, they all went wild. They went absolutely wild. So it's great to see. Just a small little taste of what 2026 is going to offer y'all when we get the World Cup here. But yeah, I mean, some other shouts. Achraf Hakimi, definitely. I have to shout out here. I have to shout out Kieran Trippier. Okay, I have to shout him out because
Reece James.
No, not necessarily ahead. I'm shouting him out. It doesn't have any real ranking here, but Kieran Trippier definitely deserves to be shouted out because who was the right back for England at the World Cup?
That's true.
Okay, and two, who is the original catalyst? Who has been the original catalyst and one of the best defenders in the Premier League at this moment in time? Who has been the original catalyst for Newcastle's defensive form this year?
Nick Pope.
Not just Nick Pope.
Dan Burn.
Kieran Trippier. Okay. I don't know what you got against him, but if you don't see
unit. The whole unit with Newcastle.
Absolutely. But Trippier has been huge. He was one of their first, not quite big, but one of their first signings, right? After that was taken over. And he has been the original catalyst, in my opinion, of that defensive fluidity, of that defensive cohesion. He's not the only part, but he has also been one of the most consistent players, most consistent defenders, and also the most consistent creator of chances in the Premier League so far this season. I did not put him, putting him above Reece James, probably not. But I did want to make sure, because you weren't going to shout him out, I wanted to make sure I shouted him out. The other person was so red hot at the beginning of 2022. It's almost weird that we forgot about him. I projected him to have a World Cup to remember, but Cancelo did not deliver.
But Cancelo, yeah, that was true. I'm being honest. Yeah. That was Indalo mid World Cup. Then he got the start. Yeah. But Cancelo, I don't know. Even at City now, Rico Lewis is playing ahead. So I know something must be up. But let's see.
New deal coming for Rico. New deal coming.
Deserves. The kid deserves it 100%. Right. But okay, so my best defense of 2022 has Courtois, has Theo Hernandez, has Rudiger, Virgil van Dijk, and Achraf Hakimi. Hi, Moroccan legend. So yeah, that's my defense. So with the midfield,
yes,
I think CDM. I think Rodri would be my most safest option at CDM because he will be in the discussion in the next 3 to 5 years, and he should. If not, it's criminal. Rodri is an absolute baller and crucial at City. But the best CDM of 2022 was Casemiro. Champions League winner for a reason. Gets that big move. And United, he is one of the key pieces for this United uprise. And yeah, for Brazil, I might say he was one of the best players for Brazil in the World Cup. And it says a lot, but Casemiro was. So, best CDM.
This is kind of ridiculous. I'm just now realizing that 6 out of 6 for me has some sort of tie back to Real Madrid because I agree with Casemiro as well. So I've got Courtois, Theo, who was at Real Madrid at one point, Rudiger, who's at Real Madrid. I've got David Alaba, who's at Real Madrid, Achraf Hakimi, who was at Real Madrid, and Casemiro, who was at Real Madrid. And my next person's also going to be at Real Madrid. So.
Real Madrid, of course, we have to say.
Yeah, man.
We just have to say Luka Modric, man. 37 years old.
Yeah.
And he must be considered one of the best midfielders of 2022. Like, Croatia went second in a World Cup in 2018 and now third in 2022 in the World Cup, man. And it's because of an icon leading the way like Luka Modric. Longevity king next to Pep. Pep 2. insane
And
longevity.
I know, I know I was in the comments, they said there are a lot more Croatians essentially outside of Croatia than there are
It's true.
inside Croatia.
It's like Portugal, yeah.
But still, even if there's 7 to 8 million Croatians on this planet, it is still absolutely mind-numbing to think what Luka Modric has accomplished with this Croatian team. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then to put the UCL win, there was one of those games, I forget which it was, during the Champions League run, where we literally said Kroos, Modric, and Casemiro looked just terrible. They looked like old. They looked like they, were going to be put out to pasture, and we were not going to see. We were not going to see that cohesion again. I remember specifically talking to you about it. It might have been me saying it to you or whatever. And my oh my, did they prove it? Pretty much everybody wrong. And Luka was the leader essentially of that plot. But my goodness, you have to have Luka in this 2022 Team of the Year. You have to.
And yeah, so people, do you agree with us until now? And if you're enjoying this video, put down below in the comment section and like the video, of course. Please, people. So, Casemiro, best best midfield of 2000. The best midfield, oh my days. The best midfield of 2022 was Casemiro, Luka Modric, and must be Kevin De Bruyne in the discussion for his form at Man City. Not that disgrace for Belgium, but for Man City, he's got 16 assists in 2022, and Erling Haaland's going bold, but De Bruyne is leading the way too, man. Okay, De Bruyne must be said for his consistency too. For Man City in the Prem, he will definitely be remembered as one of the best midfields of the Premier League in the history. And that just shows that Man City in this last 10 years, they've been building history that will be remembered in the future. David Silva, Yaya Toure, Kevin De Bruyne, and now so many midfielders that are going to be icons in the future that are now that played at Man City. So yeah,
and yet to me, it was De Bruyne's comments that kind of submarined Belgium's will to play, will to win at the World Cup. So no, I felt the need, and I'm gonna say here, I felt the need not to drop him because of that. I felt the need just based on the collection of talent that we're even talking about, to go with a guy that obviously is breaking records, right? Is just breaking records for. It's the guy who he's setting it on a silver platter for, De Bruyne. Me not putting De Bruyne in the midfield, I'm putting Messi in the midfield. Me not putting De Bruyne in the midfield is not a testament to what I think, but obviously this is the collection of talent sets itself up for me essentially having a front line that is, well, we'll talk about it in a second. But Messi is my is there.
I didn't want to put Messi in midfield because of De Bruyne. I put Messi right winger. I'm just gonna say it. My best 2022. I know my best 2020. In my best 11, the trio of forwards of best 2022 players has Benzema, Ballon d'Or winner, Kylian Mbappe scoring a hat trick in a World Cup final. Oh my days! And I put Messi at winger. That he will win the 8th Ballon d'Or because yes, he went bold in the World Cup. Argentina won. So yeah, that's I had to put not that I had to put. I just because of De Bruyne, I put Messi at winger. 4-3-3.
I hear you. I felt more comfortable. I felt more exactly. Yeah, exactly. No Neymar, no Vinicius, no Lewandowski.
No, better than Benzema. I say no Haaland. No Haaland is like for me the
dude. He's setting records. He's doing things nobody else has ever done.
But Benzema won the Ballon d'Or.
I know, but they can play together. That's why I dropped De Bruyne. This has been a similar season to what De Bruyne has had in the past. I agree, consistency-wise, that's great. But when you put, call it a front four, if you will. I'm Messi, I'm Mbappe, put them on the left and on the right, and I'm top two, you got Haaland and Benzema at the top. And those people that are saying, well, Benzema's been injured the second half of the year. Yeah, he's the Ballon d'Or winner, but also He's got 8 goals in 9 games, or 8 goal involvements in 9 games in the games he has played this season. So he's doing just fine.
That. No one should say that Benzema isn't the best striker of 2022. That just shows that they didn't see the Champions League and they don't watch Real Madrid, because Real Madrid without Benzema and with is very different. Vinicius Jr. feels what I'm saying. But you made something interesting there. Jeez. But you managed to put them all, though. But, like, what?
I did. Inexpensive De Bruyne. I had to convince myself. But come on. Neymar also had a ridiculous season. There are others that likely would never be on here, right?
Do you think Neymar will win a Ballon d'Or?
No.
Yeah, I think the World Cup decided everything for Neymar in terms of Ballon d'Or. Mbappe at PSG, clear as day, going to be a Ballon d'Or winner. If there is... No. Like after Messi, no, Messi's gonna win. Sorry,
there has to be some sort of a what makes Messi great at 35 and what made Cristiano great at 37, 38. There has to be some element of that to Neymar, and I don't think that the older Neymar gets, the better he's going to get. He's not going to become necessarily like more high IQ to where he's not going to want to beat someone on the dribble. Everything that makes Neymar special, right? Maybe not everything, but what makes Neymar really, really special will likely deteriorate over time. And that's what worries me, which is why I'm confident saying I think this past year for Neymar, or this coming year, essentially was his last opportunity to win the Ballon d'Or.
I agree. I really agree with that statement, man. And every Brazilian, man. You guys have Hendrik coming up too, man. Okay? Yeah. We didn't mention him in the Wonderkids because for Palmeiras, he's just getting started too. But Real Madrid paid 17 million for him. And he's the big talent that everyone is now hyped up. And Real Madrid will get more views with Hendrik on the pitch too, which is insane because people are all curious. But yeah, do you agree with us saying that Neymar is not going to win the Ballon d'Or? Put down below in the comments section. And who didn't we mention in all this? You know what I mean? Well, like who? Di Maria, that's a shout out we can do. Like Di Maria, come on, in that final. In every final, Di Maria goes bold or he scores.
I agree. I mean, there are a couple of the U23s you could even throw up here. A guy like Jude.
No.
But listen, there are more names that I want to throw out there because we're not even mentioning this, and he literally had one of the best years that he's probably ever going to have in his lifetime. Kimmich is more kind of a consistency level type of thing. He's phenomenal, right? But what I'm talking about is I'm talking the guy that just secured his move to Chelsea, and that's Christo Nkunku, right? The amount of goal involvements that this guy had, you're not getting in over any of these guys that we just met. You're just not,
Neymar,
right? You're not.
Mbappe,
right?
Messi.
Yeah, you're just not getting in. But you have to look at that and say, my goodness. And he's been doing it not just for the last season. It's for the last 2 seasons. He's been pretty high. I don't know. I don't know how Chelsea's going to work out for Nkunku. The other one
very well. He's going to be the best finisher straight off the bat when he arrives.
We'll see.
Best finisher of Chelsea. No doubt. Sterling.
I mean, they've tried it with Timo. They've tried it with Havertz. So we'll see if the next export translates for them, because we all know what Timo was doing for RB Leipzig before he moved to Chelsea as well. No, you're right. Not this. And he's not as good on set pieces as Nkunku is. That's for dang sure. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how that all works out. But you can't discount like his 2022 and Nkunku's 2022 was insane. And that's a PSG cast-off. That's a guy that they got rid of, right? They got rid of for cheap.
But that academy, must be said, is one of the best academies in the world, just like Benfica, Ajax, Barca. Like Xavi Simons leaves the PSG, and look at Xavi Simons now at PSV. He's going very bold, and that time at PSG helped him. He even said physically, like at Barca, he got that fintinha, that technique that is magnificent.
Only other one I need to mention is I gotta mention Fede Valverde for what he did during that Champions League run. I gotta mention him. Obviously, Uruguay did not have anywhere close to the World Cup that they wanted to, But my goodness, his form for World Cup, his form for Real Madrid, his form under Ancelotti, his versatility, playing pretty much anywhere that was asked for him. That man. Oh, and one more. Erling Haaland, if he was not around, who would we all be talking about right now in the Premier League when it comes to strikers scoring goals?
Even Tony?
No, Harry Kane.
Epa, no.
Harry Kane. He's got
sick of Harry
13
Kane.
goals. I know you are, but like he's also on pace. He's also on pace to beat his golden boot, right? From was it last season? He had 23, 24. No, I forget who it was.
Son had 23.
But he's already got 13.
But he's got
two already to start the year.
He was the one. I think Harry Kane last season was the top in assists.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, he had 40-plus goal involvements in 2022. It wasn't quite in Nkunku levels, but if you're doing it in the Premier League, that doesn't even count what he's meant to England, too. So, I mean, you're not going to be there, in my opinion, because Benzema is the Ballon d'Or winner. Oh, no. And when Erling Haaland is breaking records, I don't care what age you are, for speed of scoring goals and just doing things that we've never seen before, Haaland has to be there. But Harry Kane deserves a little bit of a shout.
And I'm just going to say this. Do you think Harry Kane will ever be considered the best striker in the world? No.
Ooh,
my thoughts is no. With Haaland present, with talents like Šeško coming up, Moukoko coming up, like, you have a lot
I don't even think Spurs fans can defend ever saying yes to that.
It's hard. It's so hard, man. And
it really is.
Lewandowski existed. Like, what did Harry Kane could do against Lewandowski at Bayern? No one could say that they were a better striker in the meantime when he was hyped up. So, it's very hard, man. And no trophies too for Harry Kane. This is just a reality check. We're not saying, like, amazing legacy, okay? He's going to be remembered as one of the best English players ever, Harry Kane, but no trophy, and he was never considered the best striker in his generation too, which that says a lot.
Harry Kane won a trophy.
What? Which
one? He won the Audi preseason cup trophy. Come on.
Man, I was like, whoa. That just shows everything. That's a friendly trophy for the people that don't understand that. Because, Jesus, that's so sad, man. So people. Do you agree with us with the best 11s, okay? We want to see a ton of comments in this video because we think it deserves them, man. I think this was really good and insightful for many people because we all know best 11s, best players is always a topic of discussion in those WhatsApp groups, man. We all know. We all have friends, man. So, yes, people. Tell us down below if you agree with us, okay, community? We want to know your thoughts. And again, do not forget to like this video on YouTube. We want to see that love too. Thank you for listening until now, and thank you for going bold, community.